I'm going to have somebody who's going to talk to us a little bit about the Fort Worth Symphony's activities, both here in Fort Worth and elsewhere. Please welcome the president and CEO of the Fort Worth Symphony, Amy Adkins.
Hi, Buddy.
Welcome to the webcast.
Thank you.
You know, as I just said, the Cliburn has been a partner with the Fort Worth Symphony for over 50 years now.
Since the 60s, that's right.
But this is the first time, I think, that the Fort Worth Symphony has participated in the amateur.
In the amateur, yes, it is. Very exciting.
But also, the Fort Worth Symphony participates so many other places in town, and even in the summertime with Piano Texas, for instance. And tell us what the Fort Worth Symphony is really kind of in the middle of this summer.
Well,
very big festival outside.
We're in two places at once right now. I mean, here we are at Bass Hall with the Cliburn Amateur Competition, which we're so thrilled to have been invited for the first time to participate in this. And tonight we're presenting a band at Concerts in the Garden, which is a summer music festival presented at the Fort Worth Botanic Garden, 16 performances. Next weekend is the last time. And tomorrow night, the symphony will perform rock ballads. So very different than Beethoven and Saint-Saëns. They'll perform a lot of rock ballads, Aretha Franklin and Whitney Houston and all that tomorrow night at the Garden.
I've just been thinking that I need to get home and look at my folder because I have to play things like Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's right.
And Total Eclipse of the Heart.
They're not easy, right?
And R.E.S.P.E.C.T. I have to play tomorrow night. It's a wholly different thing that I've been doing this week.
Right.
How old is Concerts in the Garden?
Concerts in the Garden is 26 years old, believe it or not.
Hard to
so time flies, and we've just as of yesterday broken another record. So we've had 3 consecutive years of record-breaking attendance. So
Fantastic.
It's becoming a real summer tradition for the city.
It's almost not able to be divorced from the city anymore. I mean, it's
part of it. Yeah.
It's part of the city's blood and bones. I was just looking over the crowds last week at the Star Wars, the Laser and Beyond concert.
Yeah.
That grew. The crowds.
We sold out 2 shows for that, and we grew it from 1 show of Star Wars, and then scheduled a second show, thinking we would do well, but we sold out both of them a week before the performance. So Star Wars is just perennial, and it's just always a favorite.
How many people can we get in the park?
About 5,200.
So we sold out 5,200 twice.
So
that's
yes,
fantastic.
so we sold nearly 9,000 tickets, and then kids are free on the lawn.
Right.
So we had more than 10,000 people in 2 nights.
To look out there is so heartening for the orchestra, of course, because you look out there and you see people way beyond the tree line.
Right.
And I know our 4th of July concert is always a big seller. We have 3
nights
performances.
of those, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Of that.
Right.
We are partner to so many people in town.
We are.
The opera, the ballet, the Cliburn, and then we do our own stuff as well.
We do our own
in our spare
stuff,
time, we do our own stuff. But that seems such a part of the Fort Worth fabric as well for us to be partners to the ballet, the opera, and the Cliburn.
Oh, collaboration is a key to our success, and I think among all of the orchestras in the country, I'd say we're probably number 1 in terms of the partners that we have. Last year we worked with 295 separate organizations from performing arts organizations like the major organizations, the Cliburn, the ballet, the opera, the seminary, Performing Arts Fort Worth education programs, and then schools and community service organizations and school districts, et cetera, et cetera. So we're a partnership is the key to our success.
Yeah, partnership and education, as you've touched on, just really, we're right up there in terms of education.
We are. Last year, according to the statistical report put out by the League of American Orchestras, we were number 1 in the country among all orchestras in the nation for the number of performances we presented with the full orchestra for children. So that's been a big part of our. It's really part of our fabric.
Yeah, a proud tradition. As well, those partnerships and education. We have something very exciting coming up in a couple of years, which we've just announced. Tell us about that.
We do. So we applied, and it was a very competitive application process to participate in the Shift Festival, which is a festival of American orchestras that's presented by the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and also Washington Performing Arts. And out of all the orchestras that applied, they selected us and 3 other orchestras. We've got a lot of esteemed company. And so in April of 2018, we'll be traveling to D.C. D.C. with the full orchestra to present a program of American music, mostly new music.
I noticed there's something by Anna Klein.
And it involves dancers. It's a new piece that's been choreographed, commissioned. We haven't commissioned it, but it's been choreographed for 6 dancers. So we'll be bringing along dancers from the Texas Ballet Theater with us to DC.
Again, that collaboration.
Right. Again, that collaboration. And then one of our past composers in residence, Jimmy Lopez, is putting together an orchestral suite from his opera Bel Canto, and that will be a commission and a world premiere as well.
Fantastic.
So,
and we're having the wonderful violinist Augustin Hadlich. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's right.
Leonard Bernstein Serenade, is that
Serenade,
right?
right.
Okay.
And he is going to be our next artistic partner for the next 3 years, starting in 17-18. So that's part of that connection as well.
Let's talk about that just a little bit. Not every orchestra does this. We're one of the few in the country that does this too.
Right.
We have artistic partners for a term of 3 years.
Right,
okay.
right.
Vadim
Kolodenko was our first, and so part of that partnership is that we did the full cycle of Prokofiev concertos, which are being recorded by Harmonia Mundi, and the box set will come. The first set has come out, and the box set will come out next spring. And also, but it involves not just, they play with us twice a year, but it involves chamber music, educational aspects of it as well. And so then the next artistic partner will be Augustin Hadlich. So he'll appear in our summer festival. He'll do chamber music with our musicians. He'll appear twice a year on our symphonic series. So it really is a collaboration. And so the local community really develops a personal relationship with an artist as well as the musicians of the orchestra as well.
Fort Worth is such a great community for that too, because Fort Worth rushes to embrace its artists and wants to call them their own.
That's right.
It's such a Fort Worth thing to do.
That's right. And we feel like we discovered Augustin Hadlich. He was very young, and he performed with us in Southlake on it was a free concert, and it was the Tchaikovsky violin concerto, and the first movement of that ends,
in a blaze of glory.
In a blaze of glory, and so everybody gets very excited. They think maybe it's the end of the piece, and it was standing ovation at the end of, and this was an all new audience for us in Southlake, and we sort of feel like he is our own because he played with us before he became
Augustin
famous.
Hadlich, right? And he also played with us in Carnegie Hall.
He did
in 2008.
2008.
Already 8 years ago. My gosh.
Right, I know.
Oh my gosh.
Time does fly.
It really does. Speaking of places like Southlake, that's an important part of our mission too, to reach out beyond the city borders and reach up north in Fort Worth. We were talking to the mayor a little bit about that earlier, reaching up to those sectors of Fort Worth that don't always get downtown.
They don't come here, until they fix that 35 corridor. We have to really work. But when we go to Keller and when we go to Southlake, they show up in droves, but they don't come in large numbers to us. So we're working on developing those relationships with that Northeast Tarrant County corridor. But we also go all over the state, as you know, and we go to Killeen and Waxahachie. We're going to Lufkin next year for the first time. We've been going to Brownwood, both doing concerts for the community, but also children's concerts for the children of those cities as well. Right. So we're a very portable, on-the-go orchestra.
With a lot of aspects to its mission.
A lot of aspects to its mission. The artistic excellence, of course, educating and inspiring the young generation so they'll take part of music and as they enter into adulthood, and then always making sure that we are moving forward and continuing to improve what we do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by the Webcast.